When you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to accomplish and how you're going to get there, what are the first things that you think about? So many of us think about how do we get it done, right? What are the steps that I actually need to take in order to get this done? But that's the backwards way to think about it. I did a podcast episode recently with Dave Gambrell, and it was absolutely fantastic. And one of the things that he talked about in that episode was the idea of a mindset, a skill set, and a tool set. And I want to dig into what we talked about there and do this episode on that because it was so powerful and so important that I wanted to make sure that we honed in on that. My name is Amber Fuhriman, and this is the More Than Corporate podcast. Welcome to the More Than Corporate podcast. I'm Amber Fuhriman, recovering perfectionist and serial accomplisher. If you're anything like I used to be, you've been living your life thinking that if you accomplish enough stuff, you'll finally find the success you've always wanted. But what if it's not about accomplishing more stuff? What if it's about accomplishing the right stuff? I believe you don't find success. You create it by intentionally designing the life you want and having the courage to get out of your comfort zone to live your design. I went from doing what I was supposed to do to doing what I love to do, and now I get to help others do the same. Keep listening as I chat with inspiring people who make it their mission to live their best life every day and learn how you too can live the life you've always wanted. Are you somebody who's trying to find that level of success? Are you somebody who's been accomplishing things over and over again and you're getting to new heights and you're just waiting for that thing that's finally going to make you happy, fulfill you, give you that level of satisfaction that you've always wanted? Maybe you're somebody who has spent so much time, effort, and energy getting to where you are, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense for you to stay where you're at, but you've put so much into it that you don't feel like you can walk away. Too many times we don't take the time to step back and think about what it is we actually want and why we want it. We don't take the time to step back and talk about where we're starting and where we want to go. And we don't take the time to step back and surround ourselves with the people that we need to be surrounded with to accomplish our goals. If any of this is resonating with you, then the Design Your Life Mastermind is for you. The early bird price ends on Monday, April 19th, and we start May 1st. 12 weeks of group coaching to get your mindset right. 2 months of mastermind to really start to dig in and get some feedback on your life, your business, whatever area you want to work on. And then a 3-day retreat in Vegas to meet those people that you need to meet in order to take your life and success to the next level. If this sounds like something that you are interested in, head over to morethancorporate.com and book a call with me. Let's find out if it's a good fit for you. I look forward to seeing you in Vegas in September for the retreat and on the mastermind calls starting in May. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this topic. So, mindset, skill set, tool set. Think about that for just a second. So, Dave brought this up on our podcast episode that we did that will be coming out shortly. And it really is 100% true. I recently co hosted a podcast for the Podmax guys called On Air Brands. And we were talking about something very similar. If all you needed was the steps, if all you needed was that bullet point, do step 1, do step 2, do step 3, and here is your accomplishment, then we would all have everything that we want in life. There's no lack of access to information on how to do something. But you can give somebody the plan, you can give somebody the blueprint, you can give somebody the steps. And if they don't have the mindset and the skill set to execute those steps, then that piece of paper, that plan, that blueprint is worthless. So, where do you start? Why is it that we always start by asking, how do I do this? Right? What are the steps I need to take? When really we should be working on investing in ourselves so that we can become the person that will take advantage of those steps. Mindset is so important. And too many times we get in our own way and we don't realize it because we logically justify our actions through something that makes sense to us, but is truly emotionally tied. Think about it. I just paid off my car a few months ago. I paid it off early and I've been fighting the urge to go get a new car. Why is it that I feel like my car that's outside, that's perfectly good, has less than 100,000 miles on it? Why do I feel like I need to replace that just because I'm comfortable having a car payment? Why is it that when in the past a certain amount of money in my bank account would make me feel uncomfortable, and all of the sudden I would need things that I had been putting off for a while, and then but I was back to living paycheck to paycheck? These were self-sabotage strategies that I used to keep myself stuck. I would convince myself I was tired on a regular basis. I would fall into this trap where I would convince myself I was busy. This is where the productivity masterclass came from. This is why I am so dedicated to calendaring and to holding myself accountable to my calendar. It's not only because of the actual planning and organization, it is also because of the accountability. Because when I get to the end of the day and I want to convince myself that I did everything that I possibly could to be successful, I can look at that calendar and be like, yeah, but you didn't do anything that you were supposed to do today. So what did you do to make yourself busy? All of these things are mindset things. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. Your values, all of the things that you are willing to spend your resources on, your model of the world, your perception of the way things should be, your understanding of what's possible, all of these things have been created throughout your experiences through your life. And getting yourself in new experiences, expanding your perception, growing into a person that is willing to take risks and get out of your comfort zone and do things that you may not have been willing to do before is the first step to accomplishing anything different. So, if I was to ask you, what is it that you want to accomplish in the next year, and you were to give me an answer, I could give you steps that would help you get there. But do you have the mindset and the skill set to be able to take advantage of those steps? Will you allow yourself to execute them, or will you get in your own way? Logically, we all want to say, I, of course, would allow myself to execute them. The reality is, though, fear of success is a real thing, and so many people experience it because our identities are tied to being a person that is in the life that we know right now. And becoming somebody different and doing something different and succeeding at something that we haven't succeeded at before challenges our identity. It sounds so counterintuitive. Nobody ever said that the unconscious mind makes sense. It has a job. That job is to keep you comfortable. Comfortable and safe mean staying where you are a lot of the time. So, those skills of being able to listen to that voice in your head, to analyze whether or not it's a real fear that you are being protected from, or whether you should push through that, the ability to expand what you think is possible, to be willing to challenge your opinions, to be willing to have tough conversations about where you're starting so that you can have conversations about where you want to go. These are all extremely important places to start, and too many times we overlook them. When we want to learn something new, when we want to make a change, when we want to start a new business, we all look for the practical steps, the tool set, when we need to be looking at the mindset and the skill set. So, how are you investing in yourself? What are you doing that allows you to build that mindset, to challenge that mindset, to change what needs to be changed in order to become the person that can take advantage of the tool set down the road? And where are you learning the skill set? You guys have heard me talk about SMART goals, and any of you who have done my productivity masterclass have dug in deep to the SMART goal format. One of the SMART goal formats is that it is achievable, it's attainable. Now, that doesn't mean attainable for you now. It means that it is physically attainable down the road, and that you either have the resources or that you know what you need to do in order to get the resources. What do you need to learn? Who do you need to meet? What mindset block do you need to overcome? It would be amazing if we could do this on ourselves, but it's just like any other growth. You can't do it on your own. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You can only go so far, because this will convince you you've gone far enough. So I wanted to share this with you guys and ask you, where are you at in your growth? Mindset, skill set, tool set. Where are you focused? Do you have your mindset right? Are you constantly spending time growing? Are you constantly spending time working on that mindset? Are you learning new skills all the time? When it comes to networking, you hear the phrase, dig the well before you're thirsty. Well, this goes for mindset and skill set too. Constantly learning, constantly figuring out, what do I need to know? What mindset do I need to have? Challenging where you're at now. That's so important so that you can take advantage of the opportunities that come when the tool set presents itself. If you're not working on mindset, that's where I would start. And I'd ask yourself, what are you doing to invest in yourself? Remember, guys, you all have the ability to design the life you've always wanted, and you owe it to yourself to have the courage to live it. Mindset, skill set, tool set. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the More Than Corporate podcast. If anything that was said during this episode resonated with you or provided value in any way, it would mean the world to me if you would head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review for the More Than Corporate podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. If you'd also like to connect, I've created a Facebook group that is full of amazing people who also make it their mission to live their best life every single day. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, the name of that Facebook group is Success Center. Head over there, request to join, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.